Hey everybody, and welcome back to another Farming Simulator 22 how-to video. Today we're going to talk about how to make a personal edit of a production mod to suit your needs. But before that, this video is brought to you by Bouldress. Thank you for being a farm baron. So as I just said, this video is all about how you, as a player on PC, this video is for PC players because console players, you do not have access to the file system of your console, so you're not going to be able to make these adjustments to a mod for your own personal use. I know it's horrible, and I'm sorry. I can't really do anything about that, but it's one of the, I guess, perks of being a PC player. So again, this is for PC players, and it's all about making personal edits of production mods to suit your personal playstyle or your personal needs for you. This video is 100% not about taking someone else's work, making a few little edits, and then putting it out in the web as your own work. Because that is not right. That's quite frankly being an asshole. Straight up. No one should do that because you're not a modder. You're simply editing text files. And that is perfectly fine for personal use. But it is not fine to then be distributing your personal edits around as your own creation. Because trust me, it's not going to be hard to make these adjustments. You're probably going to start making these kinds of adjustments all over the place to just fit your specific needs. And that is fine. What's not fine is if you go and upload these to the internet as your own personal creation. Because they're not. So what I have here are two identical buildings. I've got the TMR factory from the Giants Mod Hub, and I've got my edit of the TMR factory from the Giants Mod Hub. Externally, they look the same because they are the same. We won't see any differences until we dive into the production chain screen. From here, we have the original factory, and then we have my edit, which I have conveniently named TMR Factory Edit. If we look at the original, we'll see that this runs 48 cycles per month, costs $48 per month, and the recipe is 1,000 liters of silage, 500 liters of grass, 1,000 liters of mineral feed, 500 liters of straw, and all of those inputs are only going to make 1,000 liters of forage. Now, forage is technically incomplete total mixed rations. It's what you get if you add the wrong ratio into your TMR mixer. Since this is not a TMR mixer, there's no going back to fix this. This is going to output a product that, quite frankly, is useless to a cattle farmer. Now, my edit here, I have adjusted this so it runs a little bit faster, 72 cycles per month, a little bit cheaper, $24 per month, and is a little bit closer to a more traditional total mixed rations ratio. 2,000 liters of silage, 1,000 liters of hay, 500 liters of mineral feed, 500 liters of straw, and we're going to get the same amount out as we get in 4,000 liters of total mixed rations. Now, we're not getting total mixed rations because I've adjusted this to hay versus straw, or hay versus grass, or because I've changed these feed ratios around. We're getting total mixed rations because I told the game to make total mixed rations. If I wanted to tell the game to make raisins out of this mix, it would make raisins out of this mix. That's not what I told it. So let's go ahead and fast forward an hour, and we'll see what kind of production we get out of this thing. So an hour has gone by. You can see we now have close to 12,000 liters of total mixed rations, and we have 2,000 liters of forage. Now, it's all well and good to say we have total mixed rations. Let's output here out the pipe and see if we do indeed. So we're going to go to total mixed rations. And there you go. We can see our not so wormy meatball down there in the bottom. We have the fill type that we are used to seeing in total mixed rations. And then out of the original facility, we are going to back up and go back under the trigger. We're going to withdraw forage. And again, forage is not something we are going to be able to feed in our cattle areas because it is technically incorrectly mixed total mixed rations. Since we didn't use a mixer for this, there's no going back, there's no fixing it, there's no adding more straw, seeing if we can get it into TMR, because quite frankly, we don't know how much is messed up in this because it is just the incorrect mix here in a trailer. So now we're going to break out of the game, and I'm basically going to show you how to create your own edit of this TMR factory. This information can then be applied to pretty much any production facility that you have here on the Giants Mod Hub or that you might find out there on the web. And again, this is to help you create your own personal edit of a pre-existing production facility. I am not a modder. I do not claim to be a modder. This video is not how to make a mod. And this video is definitely not how to make subtle adjustments to a mod and then put it out there on the web as your own creation. So now we're out of the game. The game is closed. We don't want to be making these edits with the game open. Game needs to be closed. We're going to open our File Explorer to our mods folder, which is Documents, My Games, Farming Simulator 2022, Mods. We're going to take the mod that we wish to modify, which for me is going to be the FS22 TMR factory mod. We're going to right click on that and we are going to select Extract All. So we're going to extract the contents of this into a folder, FS22 underscore TMR underscore factory. And then it is going to open up the folder right here. And there are three main files that we are going to edit. We're going to edit the ModDesk.xml. We're going to edit the mods icon file. And we're going to edit the main mods XML file. In this case, the main mods XML file is called Forage Factory. It's typically going to be named something similar to what the factory is basically going to produce or is doing. So in this case, it says Forage Factory. So we're going to go to our mod desk. We're going to right click and you can open this with Notepad if you wish. You can open it in WordPad if you wish. I'm going to open this in Notepad++. And the first thing we're going to do is going to come down here to the author column. And we are going to append or prepend, whichever you want to say, our name to the author column. We are not, under any circumstance, going to remove the original author's credit for this mod. So we're going to add our name credit here. And then we're going to come down here to the version number, and we're going to increment the version number. If you want to make this a 2, you can. If you want to make it 1.1, it doesn't really matter. I'm going to make it 1.0.0.1. We're going to come down here to the Forage Factory, and I want to change this to read TMR Factory. We're going to come down here. We have TMR Factory here in the shop item Forage Factory. And under function Forage Factory, I'm going to change this also to TMR just to have a little bit of consistency. And at this point, we are good to go. We're going to have saved this file and close it out. Now we're going to edit our icon. So I'm going to use a program called paint.net. You could also open this up in just Windows Paint if you wish. From here, I'm going to select my text tool. Just going to put a cursor right here. I'm going to type edit. Just plain and simple edit. I'm going to make it a little bit bigger so it's easier to see. And then I'm going to save this file. So this will be important because now when we are looking at our thumbnails of our mods, we'll be able to tell which one is an edit and which one is not. The last file we're going to modify is the Forage Factory. Again, we're going to right click. I'm going to open it up in Notepad++. And this is where we are going to make the bulk of our changes. If you have a production facility you feel is maybe a little bit too expensive, but you come here and you can change the price right there. You can change the daily upkeep if you wish to do that right there. I'm perfectly fine with both of those. So we're going to scroll down and we're going to look for a section called Production Point. And the production point, which is right here, this is where we are going to adjust the number of cycles per month, the cost per month, and the input and output recipe. So we're going to go to production and we're going to change the name from forage mixing to forage. That is the fill type name for total mixed rations. So we're going to change that. We're also going to change cycles per hour from 2 to 3, as we had in our demo earlier. And the cost per active hour, we're going to change to 1. Now, what this is going to be is it's going to change it from 48 cycles per month to 72 cycles per month, and $48 per month to $24 per month. The way the game works is it basically balances production to the month. So if you are working on a 28-day month or a 1-day month, you're going to get the same output per month. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to look at our input recipe here. So we have silage, 1,000 liters of silage. I want this to be a little bit more akin to what I would do for real total mixed rations. So I'm going to change that to 2,000 liters of silage input. I'm going to change this from grass to dry grass windrow, which I know is hay. And I'm going to change this to 1,000 liters. Mineral feed, I'm going to drop down to 500. And I'm going to leave straw at 500. This mod is currently set up with a straw bale trigger. I'm going to leave that. I have not done any research into how to add bale triggers, so I'm not going to mess with that. I don't want to break anything. And I'm going to come down here to outputs, and I'm going to change it from forage mixing as the output to forage, which, as I said earlier, is the fill type name for total mixed rations. We're going to change the amount from 1,000 to 4,000 because I want, just like when we have TMR in a mixer, if I put 4,000 liters of input in, I'm going to get 4,000 liters of input out because all the mixer is doing is mixing up the product. It's not converting the product. There's no reason for any sort of loss of product. Under selling station, I am going to modify this from grass windrow to dry grass windrow because we have modified part of our recipe. We can see here that forage mixing is not listed here, so we don't need to change it there. Coming down here to the loading station, this is where we get product out of the factory. We wanted to make it fill faster. Well, we could do that right here with the fill liters per second value. We're going to change the fill types here to dry grass windrow. And we're going to change the forage mixing to forage, just like that. Now down here we have another section that we want to look at called storage. Once again, we're going to want to change grass windrow to dry grass windrow. And we're going to change forage mixing to forage. The way this is set up is it's going to accept 400,000 liters of everything. Since we're only taking 500 liters of straw, I'm going to change this to 200,000 liters. I'm going to change the mineral feed also to 200,000 liters. And I'm going to change the forage to 800,000 liters so that we can hold a lot more forage or total mixed rations as its output. And that is it. We have now finished all of our simple XML edits. We're going to save that file and close it out. Next thing we need to do is zip this thing right back up. Yes, I know, for those that are aware, you don't have to have your mods zipped up in single player, but you do have to have them zipped up for multiplayer. So it's just a good habit to get into. So we're going to drag outside of here. We're going to click here, drag up diagonally. So we're selecting all of these mods. We're going to right click. We're going to go down here to send to compressed zip folder. And then we're going to name this FS22 underscore TMR underscore factory underscore edit. So now we have a edited version of this mod. We're going to click on that new zip file. We're going to right click. We're going to hit cut. We're going to go back to our mod folder. We're going to click over here in the open space, right click and paste it on in. Now we have the original and our edit. We're going to close our TMR factory folder. I'm going to come down here and select our folder. We're going to delete that because we no longer need it. Now we are going to launch the game. And when we get to our mod selection screen, you're going to see we're going to have the ability to pick the new edited version that we made. So we have Forage Factory. That is the version that we downloaded off the Mod Hub. That's the basis of our edit. And then we have our edit right here, our TMR Factory 1.0.0.1. We're going to go ahead and load on in to that save. Once we are in, we can go to build mode, production, and scrolling over, we have the original TMR factory that takes grass, outputs forage mixing, which again is the incorrect TMR mix. Looks like a big wormy meatball to me. Then we have the TMR factory edit that we have done that accepts hay and outputs total mixed rations, a less wormy meatball. If we go ahead and put down our edit right there, we come here to our production, and this is the save that we were just in at the start of the video. We have our new modified production facility right here. 72 cycles per month, $24 per month, 2,000 silage, 1,000 hay, 500 mineral feed, 500 straw, 4,000 total mixed rations. And folks, it's that simple, really. Once you get in, once you work on one or two, you're going to start to probably get a lot more familiar with how things are set up. Again, this is not a video on how to make a production mod. This is not a video on how to become a modder. This is a video on how to make simple XML edits for your own personal use. Maybe you don't like the recipe in a production facility. You want to change it around a little bit. This is how you do it. Maybe you want to take a production facility and just completely rework it so it makes something else that's in game. Maybe you have a facility that you like the building and you want to make it produce seed. And you want to make it produce seed with potatoes. Then go right ahead. This video will help you do that. But again, it is for your own personal use on your own save game. This is not how to make some simple edits and then upload that as your own creation for everyone else to download. So until next time, Happy farming.